So we'll finish up here at the infiltration swale that was built when the new public services building was built about 6 years ago. So what this was is a retrofit. The parking lot was here before the building was built, and this catch basin originally tied into that system that headed out that we just looked at with the downstream defender. And as part of this project and extending the parking lot farther to serve the building, they took this catch basin offline, severed the tie to the drainage system, and outletted it into this swale. The swale runs down along the front of the building, all the way out past the rear corner of the building and to a large wooded area. In that wooded area, it's very sandy soils, flow just disperses, and then at the far end, there are 2 catch basins which connect to 6 underground infiltration chambers, precast underground infiltration chambers. And what those are, the final resting place for any water that's not infiltrated on its trip around the building. Any larger storms, that's where this water will end up. But what you end up having here is a discharge that has between 300 and 400 feet of soil contact before it reaches its final destination. So you get a lot of stormwater renovation and a lot of infiltration as this water is flowing around the building. The native soils here were actually pretty good. They're pretty sandy, and talking to Rick and looking at, type AB soils. So they had a lot of opportunity here, and the infiltration basins were constructed based on that. That's why they're really not that big, because they had good soils. So that makes a big difference. Soils, groundwater, ledge, all those things really can change the outlook for a BMP on a site. Looking at our O&M plans, is there anything we could do differently here? Any improvements we need to do? Anything we got to fix? Yep. So this has been here for 6 years, and they've done no maintenance to it. They're planning on doing something this year, but what we originally had was the riprap you can see here extended about 25 or 30 feet out, and that was your flow dispersion and your velocity control. And over time, that's gotten full of sediment, which is good, because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to settle out here and not settle out somewhere down the line. But what you need to do to maintain it is to come in and excavate this soil out of here, either with a vac truck, which you can do around this area, or you may need to bring a backhoe or a small excavator in to clean these out and to reprofile this initial portion. The other thing is they're losing some vegetation down there. You want to keep these swales vegetated, because that's where you're getting your nutrient removal, is your contact with vegetation. If you have bare soils, you're now reintroducing sediment back into the flow. So you want to keep these vegetated. That's one of the most difficult things during construction, if you're building a brand new vegetated BMP, is that transition from, all right, we finished construction, we build our parking lot, and that first rainstorm, if it's not ready to receive it, it washes half of it out. So you need to really leave a lot of construction erosion control measures in place as you're transitioning from construction to post-construction, and be really aware of that and go in and maintain them pretty regularly until the vegetation and until the BMPs become fully functional. When you're clearing snow from this parking area, what you don't want to do is say, oh man, we got some open area right here, let's just pile all our snow here, because that'll overload it. But normal plowing operations, if you're pushing off, that's to be expected, and you can't avoid that, and you can't ask a DPW to not put snow next to the road. I prefer, actually, if you're going to clear snow, to put it upstream of a BMP. So as it melts, the water goes through the BMP. What will happen is, say you pile a big pile of snow over here. As that melts, all that sand and gunk that was in there is going to settle out over there, so it's not going to clog your BMP. You can deal with it there, and then the water will get routed through its natural progression. Ideally, you do that every time. Does that happen? It's very site specific, and you really got to look at every site and see what your opportunities are.
But is there like a little sump there, or like how does? I'm just trying to figure out the flow, how it goes from here to here. If you need some sort of scour protection there, or
there's actually a pretty large sump in there. It's full of water now, and there's a baffle. You can see that they tack welded a baffle in there, so the water comes up and overflows that baffle and then comes out. So there is a full sump in there. It's full of water now.
Something you would look for too in an inspection?
You would look to make sure that that's functioning and see. Ideally, you want it to be dry enough to see how high the sediment is. So
take this structure and keep it, use any kind of a trap hood to keep the oils out, is there?
you could hollow this out. You could redesign it slightly, hollow it out, put a short piece of pipe here, mount the hood to the pipe, and do it that way. You need to do a little bit more. Yeah, there's always a way.